everyone. This is Corine La Font, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And I am thankful to be above ground. I keep saying living a life of gratitude is the way to go. And I'm here with Howard Berg. But before I officially welcome Howard Berg, let me tell you what we're talking about today. How to turn information overload into information assets. And let me introduce you to Howard by telling you a bit about him. Howard Berg is recognized as the world's fastest reader thanks to the cutting-edge accelerated learning techniques he developed that turn information overload into information assets. Respected internationally for his contribution to the learning process, he is listed in the 1990 Guinness Book of World Records for reading more than 25,000 words a minute and writing more than 100 words a minute. Howard uses his talents to train you on how to stay on top of the information your success depends on. Welcome, Howard, to Between the Lines.
Well, thanks for having me.
Howard, this is the part where I go into quarreling now. Now, people, let me tell you something about Howard. We're getting into the raw deal here. I was a professional Corine before. This is the real Corine here now. Howard and I was talking off air. And do you know what Howard said to me? I said, Howard, 1990 you in the Guinness Book of Records. What does it take? He said, I have to read a page and a half in less than a minute. Second. I said, I could do less than a second. Sorry, says the Guinness Book Record person. I said, I could do that. I could do that. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get into the Guinness Book. And you could try. I said, Howard, you need to support me. You need to support me. Howard went on to tell me, listen to this, people. This is very serious. Howard went on to tell me that he has been to Trinidad and Tobago about 4 times and even stepped onto our beaches, people, with his Guinness Book of Record holding self. That he's not even supporting me. And all he says is, okay, I'll support you. Okay. I'm like, no, you need to be more enthusiastic about it. Howard even tried to get in for the most handsomest man that he said his wife did not even support him to get in the Guinness Book for that. And he don't understand what. Listen to me, people. You all need to support me. You all are my people. You all need to support me in beating Howard, in reading a page and a half in less than a second. And it's not only reading, it's understanding it. So when I asked Howard, and you're going to answer now, what would it take for me to get into the Guinness Book of Records, to beat you? Tell me.
You'd have to read more than a page and a half a second and do it for more than a second. I read a 1,500-page healthcare bill in America in 50 minutes and did a full analysis. And it just came out like a few minutes before I read it, so no one had seen it yet. And I was accurate in everything I did.
And Howard, my humble suggestion of paying off the Guinness Book of Record people and trying to make nice with them, would that work to get in?
No, you have to submit evidence from like a newspaper. I had 5 newspapers from 5 cities that tested me and 5 television investigative reporters who tried to prove that I couldn't do it. And in fact, one was in Philadelphia, and he took my program to a bookstore and gave it to a young lady. And he said, I don't think this is going to work because I could double them in 4 hours. So he tested how fast she read, and he tested her 4 hours later, and she was more than 100% faster and retained everything. And he said, I didn't think this was going to work. And she said, I didn't either. He said, but it did work. And sometimes things are able to do things that you don't think are possible. And so he ended up endorsing it. Yeah, it wasn't.
And that's why you need to support me. It's possible that I could beat you, Howard.
It's possible, not likely, though. It's always possible, but Let's just say since 1990, no one else has.
No, I don't know. Somebody might be asking this crazy question. Why would you want to get in the Guinness Book of Records or even just be a speed reader first to begin? Why? I mean, there's so many other things you could do.
Those are
You
two
could be the
questions.
best swimmer, the best marathoner, the
Actually, I
best.
do teach swimming. I was a swimming teacher for 18 years for the Red Cross, but that's a different show. Uh, well, why would you want to do it? Because information doubles every 6 months and people want to make more money. So, what do? They work longer hours or they get another job. It's not how you make more money. You make more money by learning how to do something that pays more. So instead of making $10 or $15 an hour, you make $300 an hour or $400 an hour because what you know has more value to people and they'll pay more. How do you do that? You learn something. You learn how to do skills that you didn't have, and that's how you advance yourself. Otherwise, you're just working so many hours, you have nothing left when you're done because you're exhausted. And that's how many people go broke. They work and work and work, and they think they're getting ahead, but they're getting further and further behind. They don't understand what they're doing wrong because they're doing everything they were told. Work harder. No, don't work harder. Work smarter. Learn new things. Learn things people need done that they pay more money to have done. So you make more money as a surgeon than you would washing dishes. The other person, they both work hard, but you're going to pay a lot more money to have a tumor removed than to have
Yeah,
than you have a dish cleaned. And
yeah,
so that's how you make more money. You learn skills, and
yeah.
people want to hire you for this new skill, but it's not a magic trick. You have to learn it.
And you're suggesting through gaining knowledge, of course, through reading and learning, you shorten, well, you will have more of your time because you lessen the time taken to do so, while at the same time you can use the skills gained to make more money as opposed to taking on a second or third job or expanding your business or whatever it is. Because I mean, think about it, Howard. I believe humans want to be able to be free to do what they want to do and enjoy life. The
Yeah.
time should not be spent working. You know, I see people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s still working, trying to make some money to take care of themselves. Is it that we don't have I don't know, we haven't been taught these things as to how to really progress through the various decades of our lives, the different phases of our
Right.
lives, to be able to enjoy the life that we have. And to me, let me tell you, honestly, I don't think I need to reach in my 50s, 60s, 70s to know what enjoyment looks like. I find enjoyment should be from the time I'm born. From the time my mother pushes me out, I should be enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to be working for somebody, working how many hours, slaving behind them, working overtime, taking on another job, studying as many degrees, gaining how many letters behind my name, trying to prove myself to people, doing internships and all these different sort of things, just to be able to make money and to enjoy my life. I want the
Right.
freedom to do what I
Yeah.
want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, how often I want to do it.
And you get freedom with money. Like one of my friends is a marketer, and he sold $3.5 million worth of programs in 90 minutes on a stage. Well, if you could make $3.5 million in 90 minutes, you have a lot of freedom. So it's about, but it didn't happen overnight. He read books on how to sell on stage. He
Yeah.
studied what people did to make a successful presentation, and he got very good at it. And then his company makes $100 million a year. So he's got all the freedom he wants now. Money gives you freedom. It isn't, you don't want to read fast. I don't want to read fast. I want to learn. I want to use information. Reading is a screwdriver. It's a tool. It's a
Mhm.
tool that gives you the data that you need to do the things you want to do. Maybe it's just to learn a sport, learn to swim, or to learn
Mhm.
how to cook better. Whatever it is you want to know, if
Mhm.
you can learn it quicker and remember it better, you'll have a better life.
But people are not reading anymore, Howard. You know, people now they are so. Look at the title,
And they're
information
broke. And
overload.
they're broke. There's a reason they're not having anything. They're like, why
Right?
does this person have a big house and I don't? Why does this person have a nice car and I don't? Because you don't have the skill that gives you the
People not
big car.
reading. If listen, the textbook that used to be like the encyclopedia, nobody's doing that. Even a blog, even an article that might be a little bit short, it's not even
You
the
got to
size of
learn it. You still got to. My new program, I don't just teach books because people don't read books. They read online. They're reading
Mhm.
articles. They're reading ebooks.
They're
They're
doing, yes,
watching
audio.
videos. They're
Yeah.
watching podcasts. So
Mhm.
how do you? It's not just learning from books anymore. It's learning data from all kinds of input,
That's right.
audio, video, and in my newest program, I cover all that because it's a different way to learn. They're just turning pages in a book. My kids went to college, my grandkids, they didn't have one book. All their books were on a computer. They never saw a physical book, but they learned how to read those books and they did very well. They both have very good jobs now because they got good skills.
Yeah. So how do you help persons? What tips can you share to help people with
Sure.
information overload into information access and, like we're saying, be able to live the life
Right.
where you can get the skills to request or demand or earn even more money?
Well, let's start with how come you read slow? Why am I reading 80 pages a minute and you're reading a couple of pages maybe? Well, most people don't even read a page a minute. When you're driving in a car on a highway, you're going 70 miles an hour in most places, and you're reading the road, four directions: the front, the back, the left, the right,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you're watching your gauges, you're watching the road, you're watching your GPS, you're talking to people around you, you're on the phone, you're on the radio, all at the same time, and you're bored. When you read a book, the average person reads about 200 words a minute, and that's in front of you. And you only remember about 10% the next day. So, why
Mhm.
is it easier to read a road in four directions at 70 miles an hour than a book at 200 words a minute? And there's an easy answer. When you're in a car, it's a movie. Everything's coming in as pictures and images. When you're in a book, you're using your eyes to hear it. There's a voice in back of your head
Mhm.
pronouncing one word
Mhm.
at a time. Most people read the speed they talk. And so they're
Yes.
hearing a book, which is very bad. These are real books, that's not a facade. If you see all these books,
Mhm.
you see them instantly. But if I said read the name of each book one at a time, it would
Mhm.
take you hours to do the
Mhm.
same thing
Mhm.
because vision is analog. You take it all in once instantly. Hearing is digital, like a song. It takes time to play a song, but a picture is instant. Books are pictures, and we're looking at a book like it's a song. And that's what slows us down. And I'm teaching people how to process a book more visually, which is what it should be. I'm
Mhm.
seeing movies when I'm reading. And then when I play the movie back, all the details that are in the picture get converted back into individual elements that you're normally reading. And that just automatically is going to speed you up because you could see much more than you can hear. And that's step one, learning to be more visual.
How long does that take, that process of taking a human being that has been programmed a particular way to transition to that? Because it's like unlearning. Unlearning. You have to undo everything the person knew
Yeah,
from
there's
before
two
and
steps.
get them there. Mhm.
First step is reading faster, but that's not learning. Reading isn't learning. You could read a book and fail.
Of
People
course,
they
we have
read
done it.
calculus books in school and they learn all the formula and then they
And
fail.
still
Like,
fail.
how did I
Of
fail?
course.
Because you don't know how to use it. You know the formula, but you don't know
Mhm.
what to do with anything. So it's not just reading, it's understanding. So first they teach them how to break the slow reading habit, become more visual. Now you're getting the information. How do you remember it? How do you understand something that's
Mhm.
confusing you? and make sense of it. So you know, you're not just learning it, you're understanding why it matters and how it works. I could show you how that works if you'd like.
Of course. Do a demo.
There's three kinds of learning. They're not the same. The first is called literal. That's the words on the page. It's just what it says. It doesn't mean you understand it. It means you can repeat the words, which is how most people study. I was teaching science years ago in a school, and I said, name one of the 5 causes of disease. And they were on the board. And one of them, it's a bacteria. I said, good, that's a good answer. What are bacteria? And they looked at me and said, they're one of the 5 causes of disease. That was how school was. You didn't know what it was, but you knew it was the right answer, so you could write it down. You got it right, but you have no idea what you just said. That's not learning. It's very shallow. The second level of learning is there's things they don't explain. If I said the woman wore a dress, you don't go, wait a minute. What's a dress? What's a woman? What's wearing? You have to know something. You understand it. I'm not explaining that to you. You can use those words and know what I'm saying. That's implied. I don't have to explain it. The third level, this is the big one. What's the meaning and significance? So I'm going to do an experiment with you to demonstrate these 3 levels. I want you to picture a giant circle, a big blue circle with a dot in the middle. So what are you looking at right now? Literally, you're looking at a giant circle with a dot
in the middle.
How interesting is that? Be honest. It's not.
It's not very interesting, but it's a big blue circle with a dot in the middle.
Right. And that's how most people read. They see a giant circle with a dot. They don't know why they need to know it. They don't know what they're supposed to do with it. Someone said, you need to read this. So you read it. So now what? That's level 1. Level 2, it's not just a circle with a dot. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of the sun and astronomy. But because many years ago, astrology and astronomy were the same thing. They're not today, but hundreds of years ago they were. It's the symbol of the sun in both systems. Now I'm going to tell you it's the meaning of life. It's a circle with a dot. You're like, I don't see the meaning of life. This is the highest level. So how could you get the meaning of life from a circle with a dot? So first of all, a dot is a point. There's an infinite number of points all around us. You can't see any of them. So it symbolizes spirit or God. It's something that's everywhere you look, but you don't see it anywhere. The circle is the symbol of a boundary. Everything in the circle is you. Everything outside the circle is everything that isn't you. So what does it say? Everyone is one thing, spirit at the center. We all look and seem different, but we're one thing. Brotherhood isn't a euphemism. We are connected at the center. We're all one thing. We look different, we act different, but it's all connected. That's more. So look at how he went from it's a circle with a dot to it's one of the meanings of life. That's the kind of learning that turns your life around. When you could see something and say, I can do something with this no one thought of before. I'll give a good example in business. One of the richest men in the world is Jeff Bezos. All he did, he took the Sears catalog and the J.C. Penney catalog that was in the 1800s when they were settling the West and put it online. It's a catalog online and it's automated. J.C. Penney is bankrupt. Sears is bankrupt. They didn't use the catalog. They had the business. They had the stores. They had the products. No one stopped and said, why don't we put it online and make it an online catalog? Bezos puts it online, becomes the richest man in the world using their idea. They go broke, invented the idea. He's the second richest man in the world because he saw that what they did back then could work today in a different way. That's how people get rich. Or look at Blockbuster. Everybody was trying to sell DVDs in the 80s. And they said, well, we'll buy trainloads of them, and we'll be able to rent them so cheaply, all the stores will close except us. And that's what happened
Yeah.
until Netflix said we don't need stores. We'll
That's
do it
right.
in the mail. And then Blockbuster went broke because it was cheaper to go to Netflix. Then Netflix shut down all the DVDs. Nobody buys them anymore. They went to online streaming. The people who make money are seeing a better way to do
Visionary.
and
The
that's why
visionary.
it's not the reading. Yes, a visionary. It isn't the reading or the studying. It's the results. It's learning things that change your life. And it doesn't happen through magic. It happens through, you learn how to do, you go to berglearning.com, you can learn it. And then you take that information and you start doing new things that no one thought of before. And you start seeing more income. And then you have freedom to do what you want, because when you're making $300-400 an hour and not $15 an hour, you don't have to work 20 hours. You work 1 hour and you have more money in the 1 hour than you had in the 30.
Howard, what I'm hearing you say, and it resonates so much with me, is I think it's even more than the reading and the knowledge. It requires people to surrender. It's a sort of a surrender. It's a sort of a letting go of what you have been taught before and allow the mind to
limit your limits.
You're limited, and allow the mind to do what it was meant to do. I believe strongly that the programming that we have had by external sources have been limiting our human potential.
Yes.
And the influence from media and all the other things that are coming into us is also limiting us, keeping us in a box that this is all you could do.
Yes.
This is all you could do, and don't even think about stepping out of that box.
Well, school is shut up and listen. It's don't tell me what you think. I'll tell you what you need to know. That's not a leader. Leaders lead. They don't shut up and listen. They think, they lead. And school, children start school, they love to ask questions. By the time they're done with school, the public speaking is a bigger fear than
anything.
Because they made them afraid to look
afraid to open their mouth and talk.
And so that's what, and I'm doing the opposite. I'm teaching them freedom. In fact, one of the big things
free your mind. It comes like the Matrix, Howard Berg. Free your mind.
And I'll tell you how. Emotional intelligence. I'm teaching them how to reprogram their negative thinking. I can show you how. Okay. So let's say you want to relax. If you take a deep breath in for 4 seconds and hold it for 4 seconds, and you breathe out for 4 seconds, you do that for 3 minutes, you get very relaxed. That's how the brain works. Now you're feeling very relaxed. You squeeze your left thumb and you go, I feel relaxed, because you do. And you do that every day for 90 days. And now you need to get relaxed immediately. You squeeze your left thumb and it remembers every time you did that, you felt relaxed. It's the bell that the dog had that made it through. And I'm teaching people how to create emotional states like confidence, relaxation, focus, creativity. And I'm teaching them how to make those states and then trigger them when they need it. And it frees them from all this negative crap that they've
your mind. I tell you, the visual that's coming to me was from the Matrix, when Neo didn't believe he could have jumped to the next building. And because he was so programmed, he fell down to flat on the concrete until he truly believed. And he was able to do much more.
And that's what people are doing. They're falling on the concrete because they were conditioned to think somebody else has to make the decisions for you. Somebody else has to tell you how to think. And you can how do you do it? You learn. If you read 10 books on something, let's say I want to do something. You don't just do it. You find 10 people who did what you want to do and succeeded. And it's in a book. So you got 10 different people doing exactly what you dream of successfully. and you look at the plan they used and the strategies they used and the resources that they used. And if you do what they did, then it'll happen 11 times. And so you don't learn from one book. Maybe they got lucky. They just got lucky. The quarter ended up sitting up. It didn't go heads or tails. Maybe they got lucky. But 10 people don't get lucky doing something you dream of and you see a path. I'll give you an example. Oprah reads a book a day. Gates reads a book a day. Elon Musk reads 2 books a day. Warren Buffett reads a book a day. Look at their bank account, and now look at your bank account. Whose bank account would you rather have, Elon Musk or yours? What is he doing you're not doing? He's learning something every day. He's not learning because he likes to learn. He's learning because it makes him rich.
Mm-hmm.
Reading is not the goal. Nobody wants to read. They want to succeed. But how do you succeed? You have to think. You have to have ideas. You have to have everything you do is based on what you know. If you don't know anything, then you're going to do what everyone else does. I don't know. Want me to show you an answer to a question that's impossible to answer? Showing you how this works? Okay. So you look at cosmology and they say the universe started off as a tiny little point, smaller than an atom, really small, and it exploded and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So the first question you ask is, if this is everything, where does it go if it's getting bigger? It's everything. So that's a hard question, but I'm going to answer it. I want you to picture in your imagination this tiny little point that's everything before it exploded. And now picture it exploding and going in all directions.
Millions of pieces.
Giant and giant. Notice something. The little tiny piece and the big piece fit in your head. If the universe is built out of thought, consciousness, which is what the Bible says, there's a thinker who makes a universe. He thinks it and makes it happen. If it's a thought form, if the universe is built out of consciousness, no matter how big it gets, it fits in the same space.
It fits in the same space, yes.
Same space. Now, does that mean I'm right? No. But it's an answer to a question other people would say, how do I know? If you can find an answer that people can't think of, you test it. You test it. If it's wrong, you get another answer. But when you say, I don't know, and you give up, nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
That's why I'm teaching them how to learn to think better and try new things. And some of them won't work, but that's better than doing nothing. Because if you keep doing it, something will work. And then your life changes. And that's really what it's for. It's not reading. It's
be open. What I'm hearing, Howard, is be open. Be willing to even make the mistakes, because through the mistakes, you learn.
Thank you. Rich people make more mistakes than anyone. 90% of what they do doesn't work, but the 10% made them rich.
It's not even mistakes. I don't call them, people say failures.
Experiments.
Of course. Because through that, I put this here that last time. I need to not put it here this time. I could do it this way. And you test that. That's all it is. There's no such thing as
failure.
Yes.
And then you learn another book. Then you try something else and another book and another book. But you know what? If you do it enough times, it's going to work. And your life is going to get better. But you have to know how to learn and understand and remember. And if you'd like, I could show you how to remember also.
Oh, give us that in a few seconds.
Okay. Then you 10 things to remember. And you won't be able to. And then I'll show you how. You want to remember pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, skate, cat, and bowling pins. And in 3 minutes, you'll know all of them perfectly, backwards and forwards.
Are you serious? I already forgot most of them. I just remember
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Here's the secret. If you take a list you know, and you link it to the list you're learning, it takes less time. Now, I'm going to bet you and our audience can count to 10. I feel comfortable. That's very doable. So you have a list of 10 numbers in your head.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did that.
Now, let's use those numbers to learn 10 things. Let's start with the number 1. The number 1 looks like a pole. So when I say 1, you say pole. What's 1?
Pole.
Good. How many shoes do you wear?
A
Two
pair.
shoes.
Two.
Two
Uh-huh.
shoes. So
Yeah.
two, what's two going to be?
Shoes.
Shoes. What was one?
Pole.
Good. A tricycle has three wheels. What's three?
Tricycle.
What's two?
Shoes.
What's one?
Pole.
Getting smarter. Four is a car. A car has four tires. What's four?
Car.
Two.
Shoes.
One.
Pole.
Three.
Tricycle.
Five is a glove. Five fingers in a glove. What's five?
Glove.
What's three?
Tricycle.
What's one?
Pole.
It's getting easier. Six is a gun. They like them in Texas where I live. Cowboys like six shooters. Six is a gun. What's six?
Gun.
What was four? Four tires.
Car.
Two.
Shoes.
Lucky seven is dice. You want to hit seven. Lucky seven is dice. What's seven?
Dice.
What was five? Giving you a clue by hand.
Glove.
Three.
Tricycle.
One.
Pole.
You're almost done. Rhymes work. Say eight skate. Eight skate. Say it.
8 skates.
What's eight?
Skates.
Six. What did they love in Texas?
Gun.
Four.
Car.
Two.
Shoes.
Nine. How many lives does a cat have?
9.
Nine. What's nine?
Cat.
What was seven lucky? What game? Lucky seven.
The dice.
Five.
Glove.
Five. Three.
Tricycle.
One.
Pole.
You have a bowl, 10 bowling pins in a bowling alley, 10 bowling pins. What's 10?
Bowling.
Bowling pins.
Pins,
What was
yes.
one?
Pole.
Two.
Shoes.
Three.
Tricycle.
Four.
Car.
Five.
Glove.
Six, Texas.
Gun.
Lucky seven.
Dice.
Eight rhymes with
Skate.
nine lives.
Cat.
And 10, the game of
What was 10 again?
bowling.
Bowling pins.
So here's how you use it. It's to learn numbers. Let's say you want to remember pi. 3, 1, 4 to do a circle. No one remembers it. So I make it a picture. 3 is a tricycle. 1 is a pole. 4 is a car. Make a movie. A tricycle hits a pole on a car. A tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number?
3.
Hits a pole
1.
on a car.
4.
And that's the number 314. And the 0 is the 10 bowling pins. Now you know how to remember numbers by making pictures and stringing them together.
People, I am extremely intelligent here at this moment. You cannot talk to me, make an appointment. Please note that I am going to be in the Guinness Book of Records, beating Howard after all of this.
Go to my website, Berg Learning, and I'll teach it to you. And I'll tell you, I will help you learn it. You will learn it in 4 hours, and you'll read 100% faster. You'll know how to remember and understand, and you can change your life, and your kids will do better in school with the same program. So the family can do it. Everyone's reading for a different reason. They read a science book, you read a spreadsheet. But reading doesn't change. Learning doesn't change. Memory doesn't change. What you read is different, but not how. And so here's something that can help everyone in a family have a better life and make a better future for themselves. That's really my dream. When you watch the news, no one thinks there's too many smart people making too many decisions. I'm trying to help people learn so they can make better choices and have a better life, and everybody succeeds. We need more doctors. We need more successful people. We need people to stop being broke and dependent on others for success. They have to learn how to help themselves, and they learn it by learning new things that will move them up in the world instead of being pushed down by other people. And that's what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, Howard. You hear the passion in what he's saying, and I believe
it because
I was just tested live, people. I was just tested live. Thank you so much, Howard, for being on Between the Lines. It's been a pleasure having you.
I